Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop to stretch the nigga. He a demon, it's an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, and I ain't listening. Is in fact the If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jack the Ripper. War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't just do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggered on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he said something, I ain't hear him. This shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chains. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow son, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my access. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
it's in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback to bitch in the dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. But before then, Thursday, it's going down at the Durham Armory, our annual all-black party. Last year was also the Hebrew Academy graduation dinner. This year, Commander General Yohana got something special for y'all. It is going down. What's happening? A full-blown Hebrew concert featuring Shaw, UPK Natazal, Quarak Ice. This is not something you want to miss. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the Convention Center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh.
We're calling all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come join us.
To your third eye peephole, line for line, this shit too easy. It's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early. This bitch is cheat code.
Remember, admission to the Passover is $200 per adult. That's $200 per adult. For more information, call 919-697-8257. Call 919-697-8257.
Something about the West Coast. Shh, don't tell nobody. Something about the West Coast. It makes me wanna ride.
Shalom, Israel. It's going down. Ooh, wee. This is the takeover. You don't want to miss out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 Shield General Hyman with touchdown and take ground in the Yay area. That's right. January 12th through the 15th. Come through with your questions and get the counsel you need. I pray you understand. 4 glorious days, blazing heat in the mean season. You feel me? Hide your liquor and your virgins. Thursday, scripture breakdown with General Muhammad in Richmond, California, 7 to 9 p.m. PST. Friday, camp, 50 Captain Markets in San Francisco, 1 p.m. until. That night, Tommy T's Comedy Club in Pleasanton, 9 p.m. Saturday, Sabbath service, followed by Richmond Rod and Gun Club at 11 a.m. Griffio Distillery and Great Casino in Roanoke Park, 2 to 7 p.m. Late night, Mimosa 2 till 2 a.m. Sunday is an open itinerary featuring a guided aromatic experience with Penrose Apothecaries, 3 to 6 p.m. PST. Get your grown and sexy on. So there you have it. Mark your calendars. The takeover is in full effect. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Lord Christ, Israel. It's Officer Qadash with the ISUPK. Straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Junior High. And again, this is another LaShawan Qadash class. We have these every Friday. And this is where we're going back and we're getting into our language, taking back that part of our culture. So what we're going to do, what we're going to start off with, of course, is the alphabet. We should be as familiar with this alphabet as we're familiar with the American alphabet. So let's start them off. Of course, in Hebrew, we read from right to left instead of left to right. Put up the first row. I'm going to give you a minute before I write out the pronunciations of it to see if you already got those. If you want to go ahead, write those out on your own piece of paper. Write the pronunciations out after that. There you have it. You got ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya. Got the next row. Give you a minute to get those down. See if you remember what those pronounce and sound out as before I write it out. Got your ka, your la, your ma, your na, your sa, your I, your pa, your taza, your qua, and Uriah. Right out the last two. Last two is your shy and your thigh. Get those down. So one of the things that we're going to be going over today is the Lord's Prayer. And then going over that Lord's Prayer, we're going to be identifying some words. So we're going to start off with some vocabulary words. Those are going to be some of the words that are going to be used in the Lord's Prayer. And we're going to see how those are utilized with different conjugations to make word phrases and so on. Alright, so let's get some of this vocabulary in. Water. Water. Water is mayam in the Hebrew. Mayam in the Hebrew. Yum. Got your ma, your ya, your ma. Your ya, your ma is connected to make yum. So mayam, that's water in Hebrew. Something similar in that vocabulary line is the word heaven. Does anybody know what the word heaven is in Hebrew? Everybody talks about going to heaven. They got the ideas of what heaven is. So what is heaven in the Hebrew? Let's get that. What is heaven in the Hebrew? It's Shemayim. It's Shemayim in the Hebrew. Give you a minute to get those down. Remember that in the scripture it said the Lord separate the waters above from the waters below. So our understanding of words and how we use them is real efficient. Give you a minute to get those down. How do we say name in our language? Name is Sham. Let's get this next word. Let's do king and kingdom, of course. Try to see if I can get both of those on the same. You got Malak. King and kingdom, Malak. And that's the lock with the K-A and not the C-H-A-A. We'll write those out. Malak. And of course, Malak. Wow. Give you a second to get those down. We'll get about 4 or 5 more vocabulary words before we start getting into the breakdown and the translation of the Lord's Prayer. Let's say we wanted to say learn. You got lamad for learn. Ahab is love. Everybody talk about those, of course. And I'm giving you time to write the pronunciations out before I do. You got your la, your ma, your da. And of course, I'm leaving the connectors so you'll know that the ha and the ba is connected, the ma and the da is connected to make mad. So what do we get? We get la. You got lamad. And of course you got ahab. Give you a second to get those down. We'll go to a couple more. The next one we're going to put up is going to be give. The next word is give. You got Nathan. Second to get that down. While you get that down, I'll put up the next one. Day. And this time what I'm gonna do is actually write out the pronunciation of it, and I want you to write out the Hebrew. Yawam. So what I want you to do is write out the pronunciation of it, and right here write out the Hebrew characters of day. So you got Yawam, Y-A-W-A-A-M, and you have, and that's for day, give. You have your Nathan. Give you a second to get that down before I write it out for you. There you go. That's how you say give in the Hebrew. Nathan. And then Yawam, day. Got your Yah. Yawam. Last two words before we get into the Hebrew prayer. Last two vocabulary words. And of course, what you should be doing is writing these down. Every week, I'm gonna try to give you more vocabulary words. Maybe next week, what I just do is I start off with a list of them, a bunch of maybe 20 already on the board. So when you first sign in, you'll see them and be able to log them, write them down. And then we'll just go straight into breakdowns and different word understandings of it. So the last words we're gonna put is there you have forgive, which is of course salat. Salat, how do we say that? You have your sa, your la, and your ka. But since the la and the ka is connected, there you go, salat. Real quick, I'll do just one more. Let's do. We wanted to say hair. Matter of fact, hungry. Because I like to eat when I'm actually getting hungry myself. Let's do hungry. How do we say hungry? And what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to write out the pronunciation. I want you to write out the Hebrew characters. Ra. First time I saw this one was a little tricky, but just take your time, look at the alphabet. We wrote out the alphabet in the beginning. So worst case scenario, write out the ones that you know. Your Ra, your I, your Ba. Simple as that. Ra'ad. Ra'ad. For hungry. All right, so we're going to get into this Lord's Prayer. You know, that's something that, whether when we were in the world, in Christianity or whatever, we knew that Lord's Prayer. And what's odd is, it wasn't until I came to the UPK that, you know, they slowed down and gave me the full understanding of it. Because it's written in clear as day. The idea of what they have you praying for and think that you're praying for in Christianity. Because remember, the scripture says that the Most High doesn't hear the prayer of sinners. So we got to understand why we were in the world and we weren't in the truth. It was a lot that we were thinking that God was hearing us and the Most High was not hearing us. Because we was out here eating pork, being whoremongers and thieves and murderers and drug dealers and such. So, the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. So I'm going to start off by saying it in the Hebrew first. I'm going to read it in the Hebrew and the English. Abinau Shabbat Shemayim Qadash Hayah Shemka Yahweh Malakutka Taba'ah Ratazaka Hayah Aisha Bataraza Kawah, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabuwathanawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabuwathianawa, Wala'a, Baba'ayanawa, Banasanawa, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wala'ala, Wa'atapara, La'awalamyam, Aman. So in English is, of course, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. So let's break that down. Let's see what we're saying in the Hebrew. It starts off with Abanawa, and in English that is our Father. So one of the things that we know, the root word there is Father. So how do you say Father in the Hebrew? You got Abba. That's how you say Father in the Hebrew. Abba. But if you want to say our Father, you add the Nawa, which is simply so right there we have your Abba. This is Father. Your Nawa, which would be written out as Abanawa. And the Nawa means we, us, our, we, us, our. So remember last week we talked about the prepositions and the possessiveness and what these would mean if they're in front of a word and how it changes the understanding. So if Abba was just father, so we say Abba now we're saying our Father, or us Father, or we Father, which ultimately means our Father. Give you a second to get that down before we move into the next word. I might try to make these a little bit smaller to get two of them in there, depending on the size of the word. We'll play the air as we go. So what's the next part? You got our Father, which art in heaven. Which art in heaven. Which art in heaven. So you got Shabbat Shemayim. One of the vocabulary words that I gave you was water, and the other one I gave you was heat, heaven. And notice, those are both kind of in this word Shabbat Shemayim that we're saying, which art in heaven. Shemayim. Shabbat Shemayim. So let's put that down. So you got the Shemayim. That's kind of what you will identify as your root word. like that. And this is waters, heaven, heavens, etc. But the word is actually Shabbat Shemayim. Shabbat Shemayim. So what we're going to do, we're going to add and move that over there. Make it a little bit clearer. Got your head in the waters. You got your Shabbat. Now adding the Shabbat in the beginning of it denotes what? What does it denote now? The Shah breaks down to that or which. And the Ba breaks down into the end. So you see that? So this one word, Shabbat Shemayim, is saying that which heavens, that which or that in heavens, which in heavens, that which in heavens, saying the same thing. So when we started off with Abba, which is Father, but Abba Nawa, which is our Father, and then Shabbat Shemayim, we know that this is heavens or waters. You put the Shabbat in front of it, and you get your that, which is the Shah, or the which is the Shah. It means either or, and then your Ba is an end. Give me a second to get that down. Move on to the next word. The next word is Qadash. LaShawan, Qadash. What are we saying? Holy tongue. Qadash simply means Qadash, which simply means holy, separate. Remember, we're a separate people, a holy people unto the Lord thy God. We're a peculiar people. Our laws are holy. They're separate in all the world's laws. The world we live in, they have laws where a man can marry another man. They have laws where a woman can marry another woman. That's not in the laws that's in our culture found in our Bible. Those are separate from the world. Those are separate from everybody else's or any other religions. Qadash, that means holy or separate. Right? So the next word. Hayah. Yeah. So what do we got? Haya means to be or to exist. Yes, baby. Or to be. So we'll write that as be. Or you were sitting on it? Sorry about that. The next word is Shimka. 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 Root word, which is name. Eating. Why is your phone? Why are you dragging your phone? Your car. By your right this. So writing it out would be Haya. Shimka. Now I should put a little space in between. So Haya, which means be or to exist rather. Sham is name. Shimka is thy name or your name. Shimka. So it's just saying, holy be your name. And then, of course, what is that name that we're referring to? What is that name? What is that name? Yeah. Yahweh. Now, when you see in the scriptures, you might read in the text, you might come across which is the tetragrammaton. YHWH. And then over the years, you started getting different pronunciations, or because the letters changing and evolving. Yahuwah, Hova, J, you start getting these different variations as time passes. Yahuwah, Jehovah, Jehovah, and as letters come into existence and languages change, they changed or they attempted to change the name of the Most High. We know his name was Yahweh. They recognize the tetragrammaton, and when you read it out and write it out in Hebrew, it is Yahweh. YHWH, oddly enough. Come on now, we're in the truth here. So that's that name that we're praying, holy be thy name, which is Yahweh. Which is Yahweh. The next word is Malakwithka. Malakwithka. And this time I'm going to write it out, the pronunciation of it, and let's see if we can actually get it from, put out the Hebrew characters from the pronunciation of it. Gotcha. Malakwithka. Now, you notice this is one of the vocabulary words I gave you. Actually, two of them. You got Malak and you got Malakwa. Malakwa. So what are we saying? What could we be saying here? You know your root word. So you got kingdom. And in here, just to do a different separation, if you see it, that's your king. But Malakwa, kingdom, Malakwithka, what it's saying? Your or thy. That's what we're saying here. Your kingdom, thy kingdom, your kingdom, thy kingdom. A minute to get that down. Check online and see if we have any questions. Next word. Let's see what we got so far. So far we got Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, which is Abanawa, our Father, Shabbat Shemayim, which are in heaven, or which in heaven, or that in heaven. Qadash, holy, Hayah, be, Shemka, thy name or your name, which is Yahweh, Malakutha, thy kingdom or your kingdom. What do we have next? So, how do we say come in the Hebrew? So the root word for come is ba'a. But now we're trying to say thy kingdom. So to say that, we gotta say ba'a. Ba'a. So that's gonna be ba. So this will be thy or your. That's what we're at. That's what we're saying. You come, it can be any of it. The root, of course, is going to become, but you're saying thy kingdom come. So it's saying your kingdom come. That's what we're asking for, the Most High's kingdom to come. This time I'm going to put two at the same time. Because these two are words that we kind of went over, or one of them are words we went over. So be done, of course, is going to be the Hayah. Be, and the Aisha is how we would say done. Hayah, Aisha, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, be. This is done. Guess I should write that out. Hayah, be. Aisha, done. Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. How do we say will? And where are we going to be? Where do we want that kingdom to come in? Where do we want that will to be done? That's the question. Those are the questions that the Christian church will answer. Because the Christian church will have you think that you're going to float up and meet John the Baptist or Peter at the gate, and Peter gonna tell you no or yea or nay. No. Heaven is gonna be on earth, just like hell is currently on earth. You can't tell me that the parents and all the individuals who were going through the countless of captivities that we went through, whose kids were taken from them, used as gator bait. I mean, that's hell on earth, set on fire, hung from a tree, made to fight animals and lions and coliseums. That's hell on earth. Let's get a couple more. Barakazai. Barakazai. What are we saying? Barakazai. Hiya. Oh, I think I missed the word. Salakia. Barakazai. Put that down right now. Salakia. Rakazaka, Salakia. Rakazal, let's identify the root word. There go your root word, which is will. And what are we saying when we say that? The possessiveness is your will, thy will. This denotes both possessiveness. I'm gonna hurry up and erase that off the board before somebody realizes that I spelled that wrong right there. So this is your will, and of course after that was be done, which was the Hayah Aisha, and now we're at Barakazai. 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 So the root word is arat. Put that over here, arat. Which which is earth, land, ground, etc. But what are we saying here? By a rock design. By a rock design. I'm gonna move this over a little bit, make it more simple. That's your root. We're saying here. We're saying by ra tazah. By a rock desire. So a rock desire, which is earth, that's your root. We put by in front of there. Write that a little bit better. By a rock desire. Which is simply saying in. So in earth. In earth. Give me a hot second to get that down. Let's go from the top and see what we got so far. We got Abanawa, which is our Father, Shabbat Shemayim, which art in heaven, Qadash, which is holy, Hayah, be, Shemka, thy name, Yahweh, which is the Most High's name, Malakwithka, which is thy kingdom. Malakwa is kingdom. That ka at the end of there denotes thy kingdom. Taba'ah, which is to come. Ratazah is thy will. Ratazah ka, Salakia, thy will. Hayah, be, or exist, of course, be. Aisha, done. By Ratazah, in earth. Ba is in. Aratazah is earth. What's next? Probably next month I'm going to present this again. I just thought of a better way to present it, which will help with the understanding as we go along. What we have next? We got Kawhi. And again, Hayah. What are we saying there? Ka, as, wa, is. We're saying as, is. And this is ka, wa. And of course, once again, this is B. So as it be, as it is, as it be, as it is, Kawa, Haya, oh, push the right inside. Kawa, Haya, as it is or as it be. Remember, this book is ours. Our people wrote that, so wrote this book, so we use all type of slang now, we use it then. You know, we calling our houses cribs now, the Bible called a house a crib back then. What's the next word? In heaven. That Bashamayim again. Bashamayim. Not gonna really do a big breakdown on that one because that was one of the first ones we went. We did Shabbat Shemayim. This is by Shemayim. Which is simply saying in heaven. In heaven. So Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Taba'ah, Rakazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barakaza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim. Thundernawa. What are we saying there? Thundernawa. Thundernawa. What are we saying there? I'll give you a minute to get this down. And just by me saying Thundernawa, which is the next word, if you guys can write it out, see what you come up with. Nathan. Lanawa. All right, let's parse this out. So Nathan. Nathan is to give. What are we saying here? Nathan. Love, nah, what? So this is your root. To give. technically, this would be the 2. So give to us, give to we, give to our, saying the same thing, we're done in our. Which is done, love, now, what? You got it. Give, done, to, love, now, us, our, we. So, like, I guess as you're grasping this, you identify that, oh, we have root words. So that's why I'm giving vocabulary words in the beginning and maybe at the end of every class, so we'll build up our vocabulary. And then as we memorize the different prepositional conjugations and possessive conjugations, we'll understand that, oh, when I have ka in there, that means this. If I have ma in there, that means that. If it's ba in the middle of it, it means this. And that alters the understanding of the word, giving you a possessiveness or a preposition that said, oh, give to us. Because who are you giving it to? To us? Lanawa. You know? Get a couple more, and then we'll recap. A few more, and then we're going to give a recap. What we have next? Come. Cal, you want. And FYI, if you haven't paid attention to what I've done, of course, even though if it was wrote out on paper in English, it'd be, I would have wrote, become Cal, your one going this way. But since we read and write this way, that's the only reason I did it this way. Become Cal, your one. Become Cal, your one. Well, become is bread, the one is day. Get these Hebrew up there real quick. So like it. So that is la. Come. Cal. Cal can be like all, forever. So it's essentially saying, give us this day. Give today bread, give bread today. Which is so ever or all, I guess when you're parsing it out, you'll look at it as continually. So continual day is where we would get the understanding of daily bread, cal you want. Daily, today, all, ever, continual. That would be that understanding. That would be that understanding. Got that down. All right, that's kind of like the first half of the Lord's Prayer. Next week, we're going to go over the second half. What I do want us to do is get a couple more vocabulary words in. That is the biggest thing. I'm not going to spend too much time like going over explaining too much of them. I really just want you to get them down, write them down, so you can have them to memorize them, just like you have flashcards when you're in a spelling bee or something like that. You want to be able to readily identify certain root words, so you can say, oh, he said something about bread, or he said something about work. And then from there, you can parse out the rest of the contents and have the understanding of what the author is trying to communicate. So let's get some more vocabulary words before we get up out of here. Deliver. Deliver. So I want to say deliver. And it's pronounced as ha to zayal. How would I write that out? I wanted to say deliver hi to zayal. How would I write that out? Don't let these hyphens fool you. Pay attention to the letters that's on the board to understand how to properly write that out. Write this out for you. Got your ha to zayal. Next word. Let's do herb. Herb. Early in. early in the evening. We got Qua, Dom, and Qual. And then writing it out in the Hebrew. Da, Qua, yeah. Give you a couple more words. We're gonna wrap this up. We'll go over that Lord's Prayer one more time. Our next word is dream and drum. Dream and drum. How do we say that out? We say it as Kalam and Shakar. There you have it, Israel. So we started off with the alphabet, then we went into some vocabulary, then we went into the Lord's Prayer. We got through half of the Lord's Prayer. And in that Lord's Prayer, we identified, we were using that as a great example to identify root words and how possessive and prepositions change them, and we're getting more and more familiar with them. That's one of the things that I do want to do continually, keep practicing and keep going over different prepositions and root words and possessiveness, so we can understand what we're saying at a higher level when we communicate with each other. So, like for example, when we went over salat. Salat means to forgive, or malakwa, that means kingdom. But malakwa ka means thy kingdom. That ka at the end gives it some possessiveness, it gives it that ownership. So now you know whose kingdom that you're referring to. So the same thing when we go over salakia, when you forgive, the root word for salakia is salat, that's to forgive or excuse. So if I'm saying salakia, I'm saying forgive me, excuse me. All right, Israel, with that being said, let's go over this Lord's Prayer one more time. In the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Taba'ah, Rakazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barakza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathanawa, Lakum, Kal, Yawam, Lasanakwa, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathianawa, Wala'ah, Baba'ayanawa, Banasanawan, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Manyan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wala'ala, Wahata Parat, La'awalamya, Aman. That being said, Israel, in the Israel Majin, the Majin Shabbat, Alright? Y'all about to ship y'all shop rock the power. What Israel? See you next week.